Howdy folks, BC here. You're watching Deuce and Guns, and today we're going to talk about the Ruger 1022. Now if you kept up with my channel very much, you'll know that I have the same feelings about the Ruger 1022 as many people. It's ultra reliable, ultra rugged, it's not that expensive, but it's also, out of the box, not that accurate. So I'm going to try to do something about that. My first step is to verify its current accuracy out of the box. So I removed the rear iron sight, I have installed the scope rail, and I have my really nice Leupold scope I'm going to put on it. Then I will test this with many different manufacturers of ammo, and we'll get a baseline for the stock setup and stock barrel. After I've developed a baseline for the accuracy of the stock standard 1022, I'm going to bring out the big guns. This is a threaded stainless heavy barrel manufactured by E.R. Shaw. I actually ran into them at the NRA convention a couple weeks ago, and they were kind enough to give me one pretty much at cost, and I'm going to test it out and see how good it is. And the baseline is in. For the Federal bulk pack here, the grouping is 2.19 inches because that stupid flyer right there. 2.19 inches. Winchester White Box, the bulk pack of that. Actually a solid 1-inch grouping. Not bad. Actually, I did not expect that. Pretty decent. Remember, this was 50 yards. And the CCI Mini Mag kind of surprised me that it was all the way out to 1.84 inches as a grouping. It's kind of large, what I thought, but you know, it is a Ruger 1022, not known for its accuracy. And if you're wondering, why didn't I reshoot these? I did. I shot a ton of these groups. These are the best of the bunch. You're thinking especially this Federal back here with that one lone flyer out there, because that's a good group. You add that in there, it makes it a bad group. Well, I tried it again and again, and this was the second best group of the day for Federal. 2.6 inches. Did not do very well. So let's see if I can shrink these groups down. Step one is remove the barreled action from the stock. As always, no magazine, no ammo, and the action is open. I'm going to go ahead and put a chamber checker in there, otherwise known as a chamber flag. And then I'll make sure that everyone on YouTube knows that this is empty. Get my Leatherman out here, and first we're going to take off the barrel band. Slides right off. Easy peasy. And then there's only one nut that holds the whole shebang together. I've now mounted the 1022 stock into a vise, and to check the barrel fit, you can tell there is no chance that barrel is going to fit into that stock channel. So I'm going to have to widen that out, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Now you're probably asking yourself, BC, how are you going to clear out that barrel channel? Well, let me show you. I've got a deep well socket here that fits about almost in there, but not quite like the barrel does. And I've taken some sandpaper, 100 grit this time around, duct taped it to the side, and through various adapters and extensions, I can stick this on my drill. Trust me, I know this is not the correct way to do this, but this is a free way because I've already got all these tools. Now they do make some beautiful barrel channel scraping and enlarging tools. You can find them on brownells.com, and they cost about 30 to 40 bucks a piece. And this is free. So let's give this a shot first. I may end up destroying my stock, I have no idea, but let's give it a shot. Oh, I'm out of power. Oh. And after the battery in my drill died, I figured out that I could take just a simple strip of the sandpaper with the socket holding it down and use that to sand back and forth. It's not quite as fast, but it does get the job done. And it's a little bit cleaner too. Now I have an old roll of rubberized gasket material that I have for an automobile project, and I've just torn off a little piece here. I'm going to put it right back here. This is just a temporary thing right now. I'm going to see how that works as my pressure pad. Now the reason why I want to use a pressure pad underneath the barrel here is because the Ruger 1022 barrel is only attached to the receiver down here. There's nothing up here holding it except for the pressure that the barrel clamp puts on it. So you have that V-block there that pushes the barrel back. V-block right there attaches into that little groove right there and pulls the whole mess back into the receiver. The receiver is aluminum. It's an alloy receiver, so there can be some give and some play. So what I want to do is support this barrel right here with a pressure pad. Now at this stage of the game, I would recommend to take out that pin and that pin to remove the trigger group and the bolt to clean all that up and make sure everything's running in its tip-top shape. But I've already done that recently, so I'm going to go ahead and take out my 4mm Allen wrench and remove these 2 hex bolts. I believe the factory specs 5 foot-pounds, 4.5, 5.5 foot-pounds. I think it's 65 inch-pounds, which equates to about 5.5 foot-pounds. Alright, both screws are off and the wedge is off. Check the wedge for any kind of cracking. It is in perfect shape. We're going to be reusing the wedge and the 2 screws. The barrel should just slide right off the receiver. The barrel should slide right off the receiver. I have to break it loose first. I'm going to take the rubber end of my hammer. Okay folks, where that barrel is not budging, that was put in way too tight by the factory. So what I'm going to do here, normally at this point you'd probably take that to the gunsmith and have them use a barrel removing tool on that, but let's see what I can do with a open box wrench from Craftsman. It's a 3/4 inch. I'm going to put that on the flat and of course protect the finish up here. I've got the actual receiver bolted into the vise. Okay, let's see if I can get this barrel, if I can just get it to turn just a little bit. It'll break that seal. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Alright. Now I should be able to wiggle that out. There we go. And almost fell down. Alright. Well, that's one gunked up barrel. It needs cleaning. Okay, I'm just cleaning up some of the carbon residue that's on the inside of the receiver. And we are good to go now. Now, go ahead and slide in my new ER Shaw barrel. And look how easy that ER Shaw barrel goes on there. Look at that. Take it right back off, put it right back on. Much better tolerances than the stock barrel was. Now, we just put the stock barrel clamp on. Go ahead and get the stock hex screw started. Okay, tighten those screws down. Now again, the factory setting is somewhere between 45 and 65 inch-pounds of torque, which is roughly between 3.5 and 5.5 pound-feet. I do not have a torque wrench that goes to 5.5 feet, that goes down that low. So I'm just going to use my hand, use my best judgment for what would be about 5.5 feet using this Allen key. Basically, just don't be stupid with it. We now have the factory 1022 stock with the factory 1022 receiver and factory 1022 bolt. What is different is the ER Shaw heavy barrel here. It's stainless, it's got the threaded end for my suppressor, and I have spent some time relieving the barrel channel to free float the barrel down to the pressure pad. Now, let's take the sucker out to the range and see what she's got. 10 rounds of Federal bulk at 50 yards with my new ER Shaw barrel. There we go. All right. That was a pretty tight grouping too. Let's take a look at those. Boy, it's hot out here. Okay, let's take a look at these here. Here we have the Federal. It's not too bad really. It looks much worse through the scope. We've got Federal up here. We have the Remington Golden Bullet. I cannot believe I'm saying the Remington Golden Bullet did a good job, because usually it does not do a good job. And we have the, let's see, this is Winchester White Box. And then CCI Mini Mag. I'm going to have to get my calipers out here, but it looks like the Golden Bullet actually is the winner here. I am definitely surprised, and we'll have to do some further research on that, but for right now, with a brand new barrel, Remington Golden Bullet looks like it might be your ticket. Now I'll take these down, go home, and I'll do some measurements. And here are the targets. Remember guys, these are 10 round groups at 50 yards on the bench as you saw. Now this 3 rounds or 5 round grouping, this is a full 10 round grouping of each cartridge manufacturer. Okay, first of all, the worst of the bunch is Federal bulk. At 50 yards, I got 1.6 inches, but if you take out that one flyer there, it shrinks down to 1.3. It's still kind of bad, but a little better than it was before, of course. Alright, the best of the bunch for some reason was the second one I tried, Remington Golden Bullet at exactly 0.75 inches. So 3/4 of an inch at 50 yards. That's very respectable, especially for the cheap Remington Golden Bullet. I didn't expect anything at all out of that because I've always had horrible luck with this round. And I mean, I really just brought it along for a joke. And it turned out to be the best one of the group. Alright, the Winchester 333 white box. I got 1.3 inch group out of that one. And the CCI Mini Mag, also 1.3 inches. But if I take out that one flyer, it shrinks down to 1 inch even. And remember, all of these targets were shot with less than 100 rounds down the barrel. Now, most of the 22s I've ever had have always gotten more accurate the more I shot them. So I do not doubt that the Shaw barrel will get more accurate the more lead I put through it. And also, I shot all these targets with the pressure pad in the rear of the barrel. Now, some barrels like the pressure pad more in the middle or toward the front of the rifle. I have no idea how this particular barrel likes to be set up. Every barrel is going to be different, even from the same manufacturer. So in a future video, I will test different placements and thicknesses of pressure pad to see if that does affect the accuracy. My bet that it will, and it will probably give a good chance of a improved accuracy or at least slightly better. Could be worse too, who knows? I've not tested it out yet. I will do that in the future. Also, I will do a long-term test with this barrel to see if I can squeeze out more accuracy with either different types of ammo, more expensive ammo of course, target grade ammo, and just having more shots through it. Maybe it'll polish up the lands and grooves a little bit more and giving me a little more accuracy. And lastly, you can take off your stock 1022 barrel and send it away to have the chamber recut and the crown recut for improved accuracy. There are several companies out there that do that. Go ahead and just Google it and you can find out a lot about that service. They usually cost about $100 or so, and it can improve your accuracy quite a bit using still the stock 1022 barrel. Now, I didn't go that route because I wanted a threaded end for my suppressor, and taking the sights off of here and rethreading it was going to be as much, if not slightly more, than just buying an Shaw barrel. Well guys, that's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe because I've got more of this on the way. And of course, have a great day. See ya.